today to provide an overview of what's coming up in our Symposium 14.0. So we're super excited to be here today with Chris Barrett, who's going to give us a little background about his presentation and just the overall thing that we have going on. We have a great following for our sports nutrition symposiums. We love to see all of our people come out and, embellish in new practice and how we can link the things together between science and practice. So it's always a great time with a lot of really top-notch speakers, and we look forward to being able to give you the best of the best in just a few weeks. So we are going to just remind you that when you come out for the symposium, we do have the VIP that you can purchase before you come in, and that VIP pass is going to enable you to get continuing education credits, and it is also going to allow you to get the replays back for at least 1 year of access. So for $99, you can't beat the price for CEUs, for dietitians and athletic trainers, and then our CSCS and our ACSM people can often work it out where they can get their CEs for participation through their organization. So we're definitely excited about what we have to offer in June. The symposium is going to be held from June 15th through the 19th. We have 2 sessions a day. And again, these are always kind of there to help enhance our performance outcomes for all of our athletes that we're working with, and an opportunity to network and join together as a sports performance entity that brings all the best practitioners together, including our sports dietitians, our athletic trainers, our strength and conditioning specialists, and even we've had lots of sports psychology and other people involved as well. So we look forward to seeing you there. Don't forget to go on our website, My Sports Dietitian, and get your VIP pass. And today I'm super excited to welcome Chris Barrett to our promo event, just to give him some time to tell us a little bit about what he's going to be presenting and his really interesting and unique area of practice. And I love that, Chris comes to us with a really well-built background. He's the lead sports dietitian at the Bone and Joint Institute at Hartford Healthcare. He specializes in orthopedic nutrition, post-operative recovery, and sports nutrition strategies designed to support rehab and return to performance for athletes and active individuals. Working within the Bone and Joint Institute's food demo kitchen, Chris also combines evidence-based practice nutrition with practical culinary applications through in-person and virtual cooking classes for patients and athletes. So we just are really honored to have Chris here today. In addition to his orthopedic work, he serves as a consultant dietitian for Trinity College and Connecticut College. He works with professional, collegiate, high school, and international athletes. And he is a dedicated preceptor as well for incoming students in the field. So I could go on and on about his qualifications. He contributes to media outlets. He's been on ESPN Radio, Fox Sports Radio, and also contributes to the Washington Post. So welcome, Chris. We can't wait to hear from you in our symposium. But this is just kind of a sneak peek at the level of great speakers that we have lined up for you, and just the wealth of expertise and knowledge and background that they bring to many of us in practice. So, Chris, I know you blend kind of the world of sports dietitian, and you also blend the world of strength and conditioning specialists. That's a very unique kind of partnership. And so I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how you got here and what inspired you to come into the field.
Sure. No, that's great. First and foremost, thanks for having me too. This is, it's a lot. I appreciate it. But I would say, coming from the world of strength conditioning, that's where I started. So a lot of my colleagues now that I have currently, they're actually classmates that I had. They were physical therapists, and I was in exercise science. So coming from the exercise science world, I just love performance and seeing like you can integrate this thing and you can see a benefit, or, oh, you integrated that, but it didn't work the way you wanted it to. The reason why I changed the nutrition is I love the clinical side of it, but then I also enjoy like how quickly you can see results, right? Strength conditioning, you got to see it like in a few weeks, months to see the results. But nutrition wise, you could see it in like literally 2 weeks. You could see a benefit. So that was one of the major transitions. And ironically, I was the only dietitian in my entire classmates of exercise science. So that's how I made it to the strength conditioning world. And that world, I loved it. I was working solely in performance, high school, college, professional athletes. That's where I was working. I really enjoyed working with the high school athletes in that realm, trying to help them get to college, et cetera. But that's where I started, and I really enjoyed it. But now I'm in the clinical side of it too, as well.
That's really great. Yeah. And a really important clinical side at that. So, like you say, clinical, but it's not like you're walking around doing clinical nutrition. You're actually kind of on the rehabilitation and injury side of this, which is a very unique area of practice too, for a dietitian to be, in addition to having that exercise background.
Sure.
So realizing that you're going to come in and present for us, and your topic is called Fueling Repair Process, integrating technology and the sports dietitian into tendon and ligament care across orthopedic rehab.
Sure.
So, wow, I mean, that's a lot in one sentence, because it's saying like, okay, we're repairing, we got technology, we got the sports RD, we got all these things. Like, so tell us a little bit more about what we're going to hear from you.
Yeah, so I'd say, so let me back up just a little bit too. So the other thing is, so I'm coming from a dietetic internship where we are solely clinical. So I graduated from my internship at Yale New Haven Hospital. So we're talking 12 months in a clinical setting. Laying that foundation really set the stage here, plus the background in exercise science. I would stress, if there's any really undergraduate students that join this conversation, starting exercise science is very important. That background, that really helped me a ton to be where I am today. So yeah, so the one thing I always think about where we are in the world now, everybody loves data. Everybody loves technology. I mean, I'm a nerd with that too, but technology and data, I love it. But we have to learn to measure what truly matters, right? So when we're in the world of orthopedics, right, our goal is, for me, is to optimize the prescription that the physical therapist has and to show them the importance of nutrition as well as surgery. So when we look at that world, there's this clinical world and then the athletic world completely blended, which I love. And if anybody has ever worked with an injured athlete, it's hard. I'm hard pressed to say that you're going to find a more motivated athlete. An injured athlete who wants to get back to their sport I believe, is probably one of the most motivated people I've ever seen in my life. And again, you have some people where they don't want to get back to their sport. You have some people where they want to get back into that same level. So with nutrition, with the orthopedic world that we live in, we go everything from resting metabolic rate. We're using CGMs in diabetic athletes, not in healthy individuals, but we're using that data to give a better prescription, a better prescription to help those athletes heal really well. So that's the overall goal of the topic that we're going to go over. And it's a big topic. So I dive into the idea of metabolic health and its influence on tendon and ligament repair, right? So there's all these little aspects, which truly brings out both of the sweet worlds of nutrition.
That's incredible. Well, I know everybody can find value in hearing from what we're doing with an injured athlete. I mean, kind of at a loss in a lot of cases when you don't have that expert kind of, soundboard over there to understand how to really progress them back to normal play.
Sure.
And to prevent re-injury, of course. So what kind of population are you working with? What is the spectrum of person that you're seeing? And is it all athletes?
Yeah. So I'd say from an injured athlete perspective, I would say, let's just focus on that for right now. We see everything from a 14-year-old high school soccer player who tore their ACL all the way up to like a potential Olympic triple jumper. That's like my current schedule is like bandwidth. We see all the way from that to that. And I love working with all of those athletes for different reasons, right? The international, the Olympic athletes, sort of that mentality, that's different. But I also love the naive 14-year-old. They don't even know how to cook a meal, but helping that person go through the exact same situation, right? Because you get to sort of help them in both those worlds. But and it's a mixture because in that 14-year-old, they're relying on their parents. So you're also educating the parents there, but then it's also helping them have a little bit of ownership there as well. So again, there's a mixture of international pro athlete and then high school athlete with the same injury. And that's something I'll definitely go into in the presentation as well, as the ACL, sort of our exact prescription that we use for athletes who are there, our system that we use here for ACL athletes. So,
oh, well, that'll be super helpful.
yep.
Gosh, because it's such a common injury, especially in,
Sure.
in soccer. And you see those younger athletes, getting peeled with that injury as well. So
Sure.
look forward to that. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the practical culinary application that you do with your in-person and virtual cooking classes.
Yeah. So what we do is, so this is throughout Connecticut, throughout the New England region. So what we do is anything from a cooking class for cardiovascular disease to a cooking class where we help college athletes or college individuals learn how to cook, right? So we have that sophomore who's going to be moving out of their dorm to an apartment, and we help them with the cooking basics, right?
Wow, that's awesome.
How do you know when chicken is done? What can I do with these components that I have at my home? How can I make an ingredient mixture to that recipe that really tastes good, but it's also quick? So we do all of those things, as well as talk about the functional aspect of food. So functional aspect is we hear that term functional foods all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to educate even the college student, as well as sort of the 75-year-old male who just went through cardio rehab. We have that same dynamic where we educate them on there's more to foods than carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and calories. Like, what are those functional elements foods do?
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. What a practical, way to communicate with people and give them some, rules for the road in terms of how to actually do the things, right?
Exactly.
Go out and eat and cook and
And
all the practical stuff.
I'll give you a good example here. We had one student this past year. She's going to be moving to New York City for her internship. She has an apartment, and I was like, well, does that apartment has a kitchen? All that. It has a kitchen. It has all the things she needs, but she had no idea how to cook. So I told her, well, you don't want to do DoorDash every day. That's going to get pretty expensive pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
So we gave her some of those skills to have that she acknowledged that it's going to help her out a ton. So
that's terrific. That's terrific. And knowing that, just when college students end their collegiate, term, if you will, they come out of college, that's a big transition,
Sure.
out of college from eating with the team and eating, at training tables off into the world of trying to figure out what to do on your own. And I've worked with a lot of athletes on that side of the spectrum, and they're dealing with the weight gain and they're dealing with the confusion of how to rebalance their life. So I love that practical application that you're doing there. So I guess I wanted to also find out how maybe you heard about my sports dietitian. How did you kind of end up networking with us and ultimately end up becoming one of our valued speakers?
Well, I'd say two parts, right? So I met you guys two different directions, right? Tavis and I are great friends, right? Met him at APSDA last year. Got all the blood tests for the omega-3 check there. Him and I just sort of hit it off really well, and we're very good communicating back and forth cell phone wise. And then also Joel Totoro, he's also the one who connected us initially too. And Joel, I love it because he's a guy from New England. It's nice to have another one of our New Englanders sort of in this world too. And then of course I met with Ron as well. And he actually showed me just the educational system that you guys have. Handouts for this, that, the other thing. When I saw that, I was very impressed. Mm-hmm. So with that, I definitely would say those are the two ways I've sort of I sort of met everybody in this industry or in this sort of business as well.
Awesome. Well, I wasn't sure if you had attended one of our previous symposiums or not. I mean, this is our 14th. Tavis has obviously been at the helm of, recruiting our speakers and networking and getting all of the people that we have available to us in many cases. And so we really value, Tavis Piatoli's all of his, contributions to our symposium. He's also our symposium host. So we look forward to seeing him in June, the 15th through the 19th. And just really thank you for coming on, giving us a little overview of what we're going to get to see and hear from you when we meet. Our symposium our VIP passes as of today are available. They're $99. you can jump in now. After the symposium starts, the price does go up. But as of right now, you can get those continuing education credits and unlimited replays on all of our recordings for the symposium if you buy in before the 15th of June. So jump in and do that. Thank you, Christopher, for coming on and giving us some insight. We look forward to seeing everybody the week of June 19th. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can contact us on our website. So again, I am your host, Margaret Downs, on behalf of my sports dietitian, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thanks so much.